Addy soldiers. God, I freaking love bees. Look at this amazing mug. Look at it! Hi folks. So returning viewers will know that this is not the video that I promised I would put up this week, but you know, sometimes life throws curveballs at you, and I've not had a good couple of days. I'm okay, my family's okay, I haven't broken up with my girlfriend, I'm not getting kicked out from my apartment building, like, it's just, you know, sometimes life is just like, surprise bitch, like you thought that you were on track and now you're not. Literally right now I'm preheating my oven so that I can eat my feelings in the form of tofu nuggets, and none of you can stop me. So for today's video I put on one of my favorite sweaters, and I put on some of my favorite earrings, and I did a full face of makeup with enough highlighter to blind the people that have wronged me. And we're just gonna do a little cozy late night book haul, because I don't know if I had a premonition or something, but literally the day before a bunch of weird stuff happened, I went to the bookstore being like, I need to buy books. I don't know why, but I need to buy them. And while yes, I understand that capitalism is not the source of happiness, these are some of the things that are making me happy right now, and I want to talk about them anyway, because for whatever reason, this month, I've only been reading books about vampires and fairies. So what did I go out and do? I bought more books about vampires and fairies. There's some other general weird fantasy shit in there as well, as is per usual on this channel. So if that sounds like some voyeurism you'd be into, without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and buckle in as we go over a February late night, I'm feeling bad so I bought books, but also I want more vampires in my life book haul. Not the catchiest of titles, but we'll make it work. First up is a book that is not about vampires, but it is about a creepy house, and I love me a book with a weird house. I saw that my girlfriend had highly rated A Place for Vanishing by Anne Freistadt. This. She is more of a horror aficionado than I am, but the way that she described this as kind of like a House of Hollow, weird, corrupted, deals with demons, but kind of nature-y magic, but also ghosts, sign me the hell up. That sounds like it's gonna float my boat. Where Libby and her family move to a new town for a fresh start after her bipolar diagnosis, only to find that the house that they move into has these weird masks on the walls, along with rumors of people disappearing, and then the boy next door is some kind of psychic seer, and the house seems to have a mind of its own, and the roses outside are not just regular roses, and the bugs that come into the house have like human bones in them. Absolutely loving the blurbs on the back of this. Brimming with eerie atmosphere and insects most foul. Gorgeous and terrifying fever dream. Although, if I am to trust past experiences reading books that my girlfriend has also read, there's gonna be so many worms in this, and she said there weren't enough worms, and I don't trust her at all when she says that. But you know what? That's relationship compromise. Sometimes you read my nuggets. Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Something about worms? Oh, relationship compromise. Sometimes I read books that my horror-obsessed girlfriend likes, and sometimes I make her read my romantic vampire novels, and we have some interesting conversations. Speaking of romantic vampire novels, this is one of the reasons why I ended up going to a bookstore, because I wanted to get a copy of An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. As the author of A Dowry in Blood, she's already making herself a nice little vampire legacy to her name, and this is a retelling of the famous sapphic vampire novel Carmilla. Now, truth be told, I've actually never read Carmilla, but oh, hold on. What's that? Hello? Yes, this is her. Oh, it's my university. Oh, and you're having someone come tomorrow to revoke my English degree. Hey, I also never read Dracula, and I couldn't tell you why either. I'm not gonna blame that as a personal failing. I'm gonna blame that on the fact that the Canadian education system is apparently biased towards vampire novels. A historical, magical, dark academia about our main character, Laura, who is sent to the St. Perpetua's Women's College, where she is both drawn into an academic rivalry with a student, Carmilla, as well as both of them catching the eye of this enigmatic poetry professor, and all three of them being drawn together in what I am going to assume is not a healthy relationship. This is checking all of my boxes, and yet at the same time I am slightly nervous because I've seen some conflicting reviews about this online. But I'm a simple gal, you know, you give me some sapphics, you give me some vampires, you give me some dark academia library action, you know, you give me like a nice courtyard, maybe a cobblestone here and there, maybe like a growing vine, and like, I'm good. Though it is difficult to go into something with absolutely no preconceived notions, I am gonna keep an open mind as I read this, and we'll see if this ends up... It's a good vampire pun. Vampire puns... Vampire puns to sink your teeth into. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Why do vampires use mouthwash? Because their fangs get blood-tired. Blood-tiered? What? Doesn't even make sense. Would you call a vampire accountant Count Taxula? Are you freaking kidding me right now? What's a vampire's favorite food? Nectarines. Huh, okay, that one's fine. I don't mind that one. Something, a book that I could sink my teeth into. A book that I can really take a bite out of. I don't know. Moving on. More vampires. I also got a copy of House of Hunger by Alexis Henderson. I've wanted a soft cover of this for so long, so I'm so happy to have this little floppy abomination in my hands. Also, fun fact, I've actually shot with the photographer who shot this cover. Lillian Liu, would highly recommend, love her stuff, and yeah, so like that's fun. So this is basically my book cover by association. A historical fantasy about a girl named Marion who's born in the slums and she sees an ad for a blood maid position opening. Is that how, do vampires like I guess they post hires just like everyone else would in the paper, right? Like why wouldn't they? Are there specific vampire job boards is what my question really is. Oh, hold on. Put a pin. Oh, shit. Put a pin in that. My nuggets are ready. Okay. Chicken nuggets devoured. Just like how people in this book devour blood. Okay. Yet another sapphic, bloody vampire novel that follows Marion, who applies for a position as blood maid. She gets it in the notorious House of Hunger and is now serving the highest and most elite of vampires. And proprietor Countess Lisvet takes a special liking to Marion, and then, oh my god, she's swept into this dark world of secrets and debauchery. Why do I find women who could kill me so attractive? Having read a slew of vampire novels in the last month, and, you know, watch out for my wrap-up next week, as well as just engaging in a bunch of discourse, particularly with Twilight, Resurgence, Renaissance, Renaissance. You don't need to go through a full English degree to know that monsters in books are often indicative of the fears of society at the time, and I love how vampires are evolving from these kind of one-note scary monsters into more the answer to peeling back the veneer of perfection and like revealing the beast underneath. Oh my god, what is this? Like intro to Victorian studies? Whatever. If I keep talking like this, maybe my university will reinstate my degree. Anyways, I got another vampire gothic, and it's a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be, so I feel like I can finish this by the end of the month. Now, these next two books are books that I bought together because I was influenced by algorithms online, because it was one of those, like, if you like this, you'll like this. And I'm like, yeah, damn, I probably would like that. Sure, I'll buy that. Although in this scenario, I do not think that I was scammed. I may have been slightly led astray, but that's what the Fae do, so fair. The book that I actually went to the internet to purchase was Radiant by Grace Draven. Now, I have read this a long time ago, and I don't remember a single thing about it. This book has just been like in my periphery for a couple of weeks. I don't know what algorithm knows me this well, but I keep seeing it advertised to me, being like, hey, do you want to buy this book? And I'm like, I've read that book already. And it's like, I know, but would you like to buy this book? And I'm like, you are correct, I would like to own that book. So I bought it. This is an indie romantasy novel that is a loose retelling of Hades and Persephone. Y'all know I'm a Hades and Persephone fiend, but this follows a political marriage of two spare heirs to the thrones of the human world and of the Kai, which are this kind of fantasy alien, but not like alien, like just, they're like a little weird, and they have like really big eyes. They do not come from a big blue planet and are barbarians, okay? They're totally respectable fantasy people. They're like a little like elves. We're learning things about each other's cultures, and like, oh, you're not like what I expected at all, and like, oh, hey, maybe we can find differences attractive. But then obviously like politics, right? Some kind of uprising, some kind of conflict. What books are made out of, you know. I just love a political marriage. Not for me, like for fictional people. Like two people that come together for the bettering of their kingdom, and then they actually realize the other person's not that bad, and then it's like, oh, we're learning to have empathy for their people. Do I just like men who are empathetic? Wow, the bar is in hell. I have vague positive memories from when I read this as an ebook, and because I am trying to expand my romantasy knowledge, I thought it was time for me to own a physical copy. On what I believe is the other end of the romantasy spectrum, we have some sexy fae men, and I mean, boy, do we love to see them. Though I have not read this before, this has also been swimming around in my periphery. I've seen it on Book Talk, I've seen it recommended to me in the Kindle Unlimited store. I don't know what it was about the day that I was also buying Radiance that my inhibitions were down, but I also ended up adding to cart Prince of the... do I even know what this is called? No. Prince of the Sorrows by Kellen Graves, which has a pretty cover and I know is about fairies, and that was enough for me. My book buying habit manifests in two very separate ways, because on one hand, we have books like A Place for Vanishing, where I hear someone that's close to me, be it an online friend or someone in real life, that really, really likes it and highly recommends it and talks about all these niches, and I'm like, ooh, I'm doing research, and I'm looking at all the reviews, and I'm like, that sounds like something I would love to own, so I go out and purchase it with intention. Or I see a book and go, ooh, fairies, and then it's at my doorstep before I can even finish putting away my credit card. So we're gonna all find out in real time what this book is about. Okay, main character is named Saffron. He's a changeling baby who... He is smart, he's an academic, he's learned. Through a mistaken identity, he learns the true name of the brooding, self-centered, high fae prince, Kyle... Is it Sylvan? Why is there a C and a Y? It's either Kylan or Sylvan. Leave down below which one you think is right. But learning a true name for the Fae is bad, because if you find out their true name, then you can control them, so they're both teaming up to try and find a way to break that, guys. Then we have to help solve some crimes from a beast known as the Wolf, and now he's embroiled in a manipulative reach for power that has to do with forbidden magic and his growing feelings for Prince Sylvan Kylan. This is also MLM romantasy. A lot of the Fae books I read are straight, which is not quite a crime, but feels like one. Wait a minute, does this man have antlers? You know how I feel about a man with antlers. I don't know if those are like decorative hair things, or if they're like twisty bits on the top of his head. We gotta find out. Seriously though, if like a boy with cheekbones like that asked me to help him solve crimes, baby, I have my trench coat and my magnifying glass and I am ready to go. I love how my idea of workwear for solving crimes is something that like the detective mouse from Geronimo Stilton would wear. We have 3 to go, 2 of which I was also influenced to purchase. This indie book is one that Brie from Before Violets has influenced me to buy. Truly, you've heard their name before if you're on my channel. They influenced me to buy a lot of stuff. Thank you, Brie, for helping me spend my hard-earned Canadian dollars. But I kept seeing them recommend Modern Divination. Maybe I don't. Okay, let's not... Do you see it? Can you see it? Modern Divination by indie author Isabel Agajanian, which is a new adult witchy fantasy romance that, if I am correct, is also based on some of Jewish folklore, where main character Aurelia is struggling to keep a balance between her witchy magical life and her regular human life, where she is a top student at a prestigious university. But her gift for green magic is slowly failing her, and at the same time she has this run-in with this magic-stealing, power-hungry witch. And for her own protection, she has to enter into a tentative alliance with a rival classmate of hers and gets absorbed into this other family of witches that are gonna hide her. The way that people talk about this book makes me think that a Mr. Theodore Ingram is going to give Will Herondale a run for his money. Some people are calling him Howl-coded, like Howl from Howl's Moving Castle. And according to the reviews on this book, I am ready to abandon polite society, take this book with me into the forest, and just become a Hosier lyric. Atmosphere and witchiness and messy, messy characters, mystery and deep intimacy. Oh my god, I can't wait to start this. So thank you, Brie, for recommending this to me, and thank you to the person that gave me a gift card that allowed me to buy it. Second last, I cannot give direct credit to somebody for influencing me to do this, but I blame all of Book Talk, because no one in my circles will shut the fuck up about One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, for better or for worse. I swear I didn't even mean to bring this home. I saw it on the shelf and was like, oh, that's fun, and then I got home and it was in my bag. What am I supposed to do? I must take it in and feed it and shelter it and keep it on the bookshelf with all my other enchanted book children, obviously. I still don't really know what this is about. So there's, you know, the dark side of my book buying habit rearing its ugly head. Every time I hear someone talking about this book, they make it sound like a different book. Like that could be a real turnoff, but instead it's like, oh, she's mysterious. I do know that our main character is like trapped in a house, and in a place that there's like this mist, and there's like monsters in the mist, and also maybe she has a demon in her head. She meets some mysterious highwaymen on the forest road. Girly, what are you doing there? Thrust into a world of shadow and deception, she joins a dangerous quest to cure blunder of the dark magic infecting it. But also the highwayman is hot. Actually, I just went over to Goodreads to check some reviews, and my friend Sam from Ladybug Books on TikTok has reviewed this book, so I'm gonna say this is Sam's fault. Thank you, Sam, for recommending me this book. So many people on Goodreads are saying that this book was one that stuck with them And that's the kind of shit that I'm looking for in this day and age. And the people that don't like it say that they hate it because it has slow pacing. But guess who loves slow pacing? It's me! That is why it's okay if you like a book and somebody else doesn't. Because just like I don't like books with worms and my girlfriend loves them, I love a book with slow, moderate pacing that also is good for fans of Defy the Night and For the Wolf. So, I am gonna read this and I'm excited about it. So there, get wrecked. Oh my god, I don't know where all that aggression came from. My bad. And lastly, the last book is actually the book that I went in for. There was one, count it, one copy in the Lower Mainland. And it's mine now, bitch! I have been unreasonably excited to get my hands on a copy of this book since the day that it was announced. So I bought this for entirely selfish reasons and no suspicious ulterior motives whatsoever, and it is To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. I really like Elizabeth May's The Falconer series, which is an amazing fae novel. Also Seven Devils, which was the queer sci-fi that she wrote with Laura Lamb. All of my favorite space gays are in that book. And I've wanted more from her for so long, and this is about people crafting gods into their bones. An action-packed queer fantasy about two sisters who grew up having gods bound to them, and they are perhaps the only two that can end this god war going on in their kingdom. Sarah becomes reunited with her long-lost lover, who also ends up being the leader of the rebellion. Her sister Galena infiltrates the palace looking for secrets and ends up getting entangled in with the princess. It's a tale of sisterhood and rebellion and fighting for what you believe in alongside god warriors and learning the consequences of what ancient magic can do. I am fully ready to become obsessed with this. This is a warning now, clear and simple. Get ready to be sick of me. Also a moment for the cover. Oh my god, that aesthetic is fire. Literally. Anyways, I'm really excited about this book. Maybe go buy it because it's available now, if you can find any where you are. And that is that on that. You know, I am feeling better. If I get noise complaints from my neighbors for yelling about books at a late time of the night, then I don't know, we're just gonna say that it's part of my therapy. They should be grateful that it's just books, because it could be drugs. Well, now my big problem seems so far away. Now my biggest problem is figuring out what book to start first. I have empty shelves right now because I got a new bookshelf. And so my brain is like, must fill. But to fill, one must read. Because that's the way that I have it set up in my own brain. And whenever I buy a new book, it gets to go onto the TBR shelf, which is in a whole other room. And then once I've read it, it gets to join its brethren on the red shelves. So when I get a lot of people, you know, in the background of my TikTok videos or YouTube being like, oh, but how many of those have you read? I've read them all, Susan, okay? Anything that's behind me in a video, I have read. But now there's empty space, and I need to read stuff so I can fill up shit. Read to fill the shelves, not fill the shelves to read. Okay, new mantra of the month, year? However long. My life, basically, I guess. You know where to click to like the video. You know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day or night wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!